Hello everyone and welcome back to the F1 2019 Career Mode series, here for round 21, round the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which signals the end of this season. It's the final episode of this season and we will be doing more in the future, so stay tuned for that. But jumping in here to the messages, we have the weekend preview and then we actually have developments failed here. The major development that we had ongoing to this event has failed, which is a shame, and then we have, which is okay, we can just adapt it at future times. The weather forecast is clear, and if you look here at the development upgrade and the comparison, Renault have actually jumped us, obviously, because we had that failed major upgrade. We haven't improved, so we're now the 5th best car, but we're still very, very close between everyone, so it's not the end of the world. As you can see here, it will cost $560 to actually redo, which is quite a lot, but we only have one to do here, and then we can just do that one, so it's not the end of the world. But yep, other than that, let's go on into qualifying. So Q1 didn't record for some reason. The recorder wasn't there when I came to editing it, which sucks badly, but oh well, it's not too bad because we made it comfortably through anyway at about P10, I think. Only needed to set one lap time, so we were absolutely fine for that. And here we go then into Q2. Then through the first part of the lap, it was fairly solid, but could have been a bit better, but it didn't seem too bad. Now through the hairpin, focus on a really good exit down the long straight here. There's two long straights here. This leads on to a heavy braking corner, then into another corner, into another long straight. So here we go then, flying down here at just over 200 miles an hour. Slam on the brakes, brake around the 100 metre point. We broke a little bit too late there actually, and that made us go out a little bit wide, but we've still got a decent exit as we now go down the other long straight. And this leads to another heavy braking zone just here. Brake at a similar time really, and now go left, then right, then left again. Quite easy to lose traction there, and certainly easy to understeer, which we nearly just did. Here our teammate sets the fastest lap in the session, which hopefully we can do better than, but we'll see. It wasn't a bad lap he set actually, right there, as we have the double left-hander here, left and then left again. And now get the power down to now very similar to the end of the Russian track, this, where you go right and then you go right again, except for the line's a little bit further away. Russian, the line's right next to you, but here you actually still have to go a decent distance. We cross over the line, and that's a good lap time actually, a 1:35.4, so that should be enough to see us through, because that was actually a really, really quick lap, but we'll see. And it was, we got through, which means we can set 2 lap times in Q3, so hopefully that'll give us a better chance of getting higher up the field. So here we go then. We've already set 1 lap, but it was horrific, as you can see, at 1:36.2, which is a lot slower than our lap in Q2. It's good enough for 10th fastest. Verstappen set a really slow lap, which was kind of surprising, but we need to improve, and we should be able to improve. There was a lot of mistakes in that lap. You can already see that we're green. Now through here we're just going to improve even more on that. We're just over 2 temps up at this point. Through the hairpin, it wasn't the cleanest hairpin in the world, but got the power down and got a solid enough exit down the straight. Open up the DRS. That's sweet. Reaching speeds of 200 miles an hour, no problem down here. Just throw on the brakes. I went really, really wide into this turn on the previous lap. As you can see, it went into the red, but then of course it goes straight back into the green, so I got a much, much better exit. So here we go, down the second straight. Now throwing on the brakes here, very solid on the brakes again there, and now to the right hand side, to the left hand side, back to the left hand side. Get the power down to a very, very quick part of the track. This actually is very easy to mess this part of the track up. You go very quick and very quickly throw on the brakes to the right hand side. Very easy to outbrake yourself and run off wide. As we go left, and we go left again, qualifying's complete. It's down the very, very small little straight here to the right hand side. Keep your car in a straight line. There we go, solid through there to the right hand side again. Get a good exit, solid exit. Now cross it over the line. It's good enough for
good work.
P7, so that's a good result actually for us in qualifying.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Hamilton, Bottas and Sebastian Vettel. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers will be racing here at the Yas Island circuit through 21 corners and a lap distance of around 3.4 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass, with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, turns 8 and 11. Plenty of close racing then, plenty of speed, and plenty of drama to be found in the laps ahead. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off, with the title already in the bag.
I agree it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Hülkenberg, Carlos Sainz, Iceman, Gasly, Albon, Verstappen, and Kevin Magnussen. Kvyat, Vettel, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Antonio Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, Grosjean, Stroll, George Russell and Sergio Perez. Kubica and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
This is the final race of the season. Go out there and enjoy it.
I'm sure I will, Jeff, starting from P6 because of Vettel's grid penalties, as we'll put a standard amount of fuel in. He's telling me to go softs to mediums, but I reckon softs to hards is going to work much better. We'll go lap 8 on the pits, I think, and let's go into the race. Here we go, in Abu Dhabi for the season finale. We're underway here. We've got a pretty poor reaction time off the start. We've had absolute fly. We've had like no revs whatsoever. We've gone quick off the line. And then it's us already up 2 positions into P4. An absolute flyer of a start from us there. Goes through, we've lost the back, and that was nearly a race over already, but we're fine. We kept it. Yeah, cold tyres don't really like being put under too much stress at the start, as we're in P4. Leclerc in front, no positions changed with the front 3, I don't think. As of course, teammate Carlos Sainz jumped Hülkenberg as well, so this is perfect for McLaren with the 4-5 start, which is good for the constructors. Onto lap 2 then, down the same straight, and we've got a massive gap to Leclerc in front. There's a fairly big gap to Sainz behind as well, so he isn't going to be able to overtake us down the straights. We'll maintain our P3 for the time being, which is very, very good news. As hopefully we can build on the gap to Sainz and maybe catch up to Leclerc, but that's probably going to be a more if than anything else. As onto lap 3, you can see Hülkenberg has just passed Sainz, but I think they're fighting away. That's going to allow us to get a big gap to them. It's 1.1 at the moment, the gap, but with them fighting, I can see that definitely extending out to more like 3 seconds. Now, advancing all the way on to the start of lap 8, we come into the pits because not much really happened through there, so just skip the full way into the pits, and nice solid 2-second stop from the McLaren guys there. And hopefully we can build on everything as we now go onto lap 9, and we have Kubica in front of us. Hülkenberg did actually come into the pits with us, but we're on 1 stop, he's I think on a 2 stops. This could be interesting. Now onto lap 10, we've got the Williams of Kubica in front of us. Obviously Hülkenberg's going to be coming quicker than us behind because he's on quicker tyres, so we need to watch out for that. As you can see, Hülkenberg's actually really getting it. We cruised past Kubica, but Hülkenberg almost managed to get Kubica as well through now. I'm sure we'll definitely get it down the next straight. But that was almost interesting. He could have almost got me and Kubica there if he had had a bit more speed, but he didn't quite have enough speed. If he got past Kubica, he would have got past me as well, I reckon. So Hülkenberg did overtake him, and now a lap later it's going to be a cruise by for Hülkenberg. We're not going to bother fighting it at all. So it's us down into P5, and he actually does have a double lockup there. Well, it's just a single lockup, should I say, but we are going to be too far back to fight it because he's still got a good run. Now on to lap 14, we've got Hulkenberg in our reach again. He did run away, but then he had a mechanical issue of some sort. And we're going to try and go around his outside here. He's luckily given us plenty of space. He has a mechanical issue. Down the straights he seems quick, but through the corners he seems really slow, and we've moved up into P4 again. As on to lap 17, you can see the two of the three front runners have come to the pits. So Hamilton now leads the race, but the two front runners other than him have come into the pits. So we're now in P2 with Vettel behind us, but he has to stop, and so does Hamilton. As Vettel has come into the pits, so we now have no one really behind us too close. Magnussen's still quite a long way away, as we're staying in P2. As Hamilton's come into the pits, Bottas has re-overtaken us, but Hamilton's come into the pits, so we maintain our P2, but Leclerc should cut past us with absolute ease here. As Leclerc has passed us, and you can see the gap in the top left, 9.3 seconds at the moment. And a few laps later, it's now Hamilton behind us. He overtook Vettel, it's now 3.5, I think that says, so the gap is coming down, and now onto lap 26 of 28. And it's going to be Hamilton gets up past us and steals our podium away from us. So it's disappointing, but these tyres are dead here as we've just annihilated the Rolex sign. It's now we have to lift off massively through here. We just don't have the grip, as Vettel might try and get us here. We have to. Oh no, we've gone really wide. We end up doing the bunny hops just to about keep it on the track. Yeah, we did the bunny hops on the left hand side there of turn 3. But we're okay. Oh no, we could have maybe brought it back, but we've gone miles wide, and that's going to keep us in P5. Now, on the final lap of the race, Albon, can we keep him behind here? We're going to the left hand side. Can we hold it? Can we hold it? No, we can't. He's going to cruise past us. We tried, but we failed, as that is Albon up into 5th, and we've dropped down to 6th, which is of course where we started, so it's still a solid result in this race. So anyway, that is the championship finished really. We're going to finish in P5, which is a great result really. P5 in the championship in this McLaren car. Obviously we've got regulation changes coming in which could chop and change the field a little bit. We'll be fine because we adapted every part, so it shouldn't affect us too much. Valtteri Bottas has won the Grand Prix, a solid campaign from him, finishing in P2. But yeah, Hamilton's obviously the drivers' champion, and the constructors with Mercedes, as it's been a really good season to be fair, very fun season to record as well. So we go through the final 2 corners. Here we're going to make an absolute mess of the final corner, but it's not an issue because we'll stick to the right hand side, cross the line, P6 in the final race to secure P5 in the championship.
That's it, what a season. Great work this year, really great work. It's been hard at times, but we've come through.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving.
The Constructors' Championship may be a foregone conclusion at the moment, but regardless, let's look at the standings. It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Nice job this season. You've been performing well, and that's putting us in a strong negotiating position contract-wise. Plus, My 10%'s getting more valuable. So enjoy your break, and keep up the good work next year.
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
So there we go, that is the season finished, and we got the contract negotiations. Here we're going to stick with McLaren because, yeah, we really should stick with McLaren. And then here we go, then we got quite a bit of air. We can actually get a lot here, so expected qualifying position, we'll keep that 7th, and the race in 6th because this car is getting a lot better. Try and get all of this level 3. I don't know if it will work, but it should do. Yeah, this is going to be fine. Everything level 3. So stick with McLaren. Everything level 3. Perfect.
All that's left is to sign the paperwork. You'll be on this new deal from the next race weekend.
Well, here we go then. So we have a lot of R&D points. We just adapt that. Develop this. I don't think we can't develop it because of the regulations. Okay. Let's might as well do this because then these will all be here for the very next race. And then put the rest of the durability because we have a bit left over. So we're going to do energy store, I think, or should we do turbo? We're going to do turbo actually for the start, and then that'll be it. So thank you all for supporting me throughout this series. The next series will start up in a few days, so make sure to tune in there then, and we will obviously be around Australia, back around there for the start of the new season, and I will hopefully see you next time.